I will tell you, somebody who's not heartened by what you're doing, labor. You are trying to figure out whether you can abolish the National Labor Relations Board? Is that right?
That may be just a little bit more than we're trying to do. The NLRB has interpreted the National Labor Relations Act in a way where they've basically filed suit against Boeing, even though what Boeing was doing was simply choosing to expand and put new jobs in South Carolina. Well, they were also adding jobs in Everett, Washington, the Seattle area. And we're questioning whether or not they've exceeded. There's no absolute law that says they can do that. They're interpreting that even though it's a growth, ultimately, by not putting them in Everett, it's a retaliation.
Right.
I think that's far in excess of their mandate. If the labor union wants to make a suit, but for the government to spend your tax dollars to pursue seems to be over the top.
So is their position now that any time a company decides to go to a right-to-work state, that's retaliation against a union?
In this case, because there were statements made on the record, and we've read them,
right,
that included our customers want guaranteed delivery, therefore it's assumed that going there and doing 3 out of 10 aircraft a month will be produced in South Carolina, while 7 to 10 will be produced in Everett, Washington,
right,
which is neither one has produced that volume yet. The interpretation was, well, that's retaliation, and yet no one lost their job in Seattle. There have been 3,000 more hirings. So, yeah, you have an obligation to second guess that and say, wait a second, when the government prosecutes you and spends its millions,
right,
and you're guilty till you prove yourself innocent in constant appeals, it's probably overstepping, and we're looking at that. Having said that, we need to have rules of the road, including labor rules that continue to protect Americans. It's got to protect union and non-union. It's got to protect the business and the jobs just as much as it does people who contribute to the president from big labor.
All right.
Congressman Issa, thank you very much. Good to have you in the studio today.
Thanks for having me in.